We're going to start in a standing position at the back end of our mats. So just standing with your feet slightly separated. Big toes are level with each other. Just let your arms relax beside you for a moment. And then just bring your gaze towards the horizon. So you can almost feel there's an equal and opposite pull in your body. So there's a feeling of lifting through the crown of the head at the same time that your feet are rooting you downwards. And it's a sensation that the rest of your body is suspended between those 2 points. We're just going to roll the shoulders back and around a few times. Just get that sense of opening across the front of the body. And then just let your arms relax. And then we're going to add just a few bend and straightening of the knees. And try to keep your heels grounded so that you get a little bit of a stretch up through the Achilles and up into the calf muscles. And then let your knees straighten and take a moment to close your eyes. And as always, we start with a little bit of a connection to our breath. Noticing each inhale and each exhale as it moves through your body. And then today, just take a moment to notice your energy. Notice how you're feeling on this Friday morning. And if you could describe your energy in one word today, what would it be? And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth side and let it go. Let yourself be present on your mat. Blink your eyes open. And we're going to start with a roll down. So when you're ready, look towards your feet and just let your neck, your upper back, feeling your ribs round forward, and then just pause for a moment with your hands hanging in front of your knees. Notice the stretch along your spine, and then start to roll deeper and letting your hands come down towards the floor, and you are folding over from the crease of the hip. And now as you stay here, just notice how the stretch or the tension has probably moved into the back of your legs. Take a nice deep inhale, and then breathe out, and back up you come. And right now we're rolling up with a rounded spine. Abdominals are connecting, but the back line of the body is lifting up to support you. Once again, roll the shoulders back and around. This time feeling that little squeeze between the shoulder blades. Let the arms settle. And then again, a little bit of a bend and straighten of the knees. And keeping the awareness that your knees are tracking straight forward over the second toes. One more time. Just a little bend and straighten, nice and easy. And we pause. Let's do a second roll down. When you're ready, look to your feet, feeling that articulation of your spine as you roll forward. Just letting your hands hang in front of your knees. Take a breath in again. And now continue rolling forward, coming all the way down. And again, just observing how the stretch moves on your body. Now take a breath in. And this time, I want you to lengthen your spine. So you're going to use your abdominals and your back muscles together. Keep your knees a little bit bent. And see if you can come up with a flat back. Use your hands on your thighs if you need to. But notice how it feels very different from when we roll up with a rounded back. You got much more connection to the back line of your body. Roll the shoulders back and around. And one more time. Just let your arms relax beside you. We do a little bend and straighten of the knees. Feeling your feet spread out underneath you. They are your foundation. And then we're going to do one more roll down. Take a breath in and nod your chin. Round your spine over, stopping with your hands just in front of your knees here. Take another breath, rolling all the way over, folding over from the crease of the hip. Stay here for a moment, and then bend your knees and walk your hands all the way down. So you bring yourself down onto a 4-point position, and I want you to keep your toes tucked under. Spread your fingers out and make sure that your wrists feel good. Shoulders away from your ears, and just push your hips back towards your feet for a second, just to get a stretch on the soles of the feet, and then come forward again. We're gonna do 2 more like that. So just a gentle press back and release, and you can keep this small, especially if you've got any kind of issues with your feet. So plantar fasciitis, it's a lovely stretch, but it could be very intense. And now stay here and release your feet all the way out. So we're gonna start pushing into our hands and pushing into our shins. And as you do that, just notice how you start weight loading the joints of the body, but in particular, can you feel how the abdominal muscles connect to support you from underneath? Now see if you can continue pushing into your hands and feet, and maybe you can lift your knees just off the ground. So this is a little variation of what we normally do with the toes tucked under. And then on your next breath, releasing the knees all the way down. Now tuck your feet under, and we're going to repeat that same weight bearing. Long spine. Start to push into hands and feet, and first you just find your connections. And now on your next breath, start to hover your knees off the ground. And again, if this doesn't feel okay for your feet, then you can go back to the variation with your feet stretched out behind you. Keep breathing, notice those abdominals connecting. And then on your next breath, lower the knees down, release the feet all the way out, and you hold it here. Let's go into our thread the needle. So reach the right arm out to the side, and then thread the needle all the way through, resting your head, resting your arm and shoulder. And today we are going to slide that left arm all the way forward. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths in and out here. And I want you to notice how your spine, your upper spine and ribs do a natural rotation with your breath in. And that's because we are in a passive rotation of the spine. And it just highlights for us when we inhale, how we expand from the inside out, and it just increases the rotation. And then bring that left hand all the way in, push into your hand, reaching the right arm out. Now hold it here. Bending that right elbow. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. So you're doing a little bit of a salute with that right hand, and then just lift the elbow up a little bit so you get an opening across the chest, and then release it and bring the right elbow towards the left elbow. And again, elbow goes out to the side, you get a little bit of an opening of the chest, and then bringing the right elbow in towards the left elbow. It doesn't matter if it actually touches or not. One more time. Open up the chest, and then Bringing the right elbow in, taking the right elbow just out to the side. See if you can get your shoulders squared to the mat, and then placing the right hand down. Reach your left arm out to the side. Coming into your thread the needle, finding that twist and rotation, and then taking the right arm and sliding it forward and away. And we're going to take 3 breaths in and out here. Notice that gentle increase in the rotation of your spine as you breathe. And on your next breath, slide your right hand in, press up, reaching the left arm all the way out, and then bend that left elbow and salute. Start by lifting your elbow up, and it doesn't have to be a big movement, and then bring your left elbow towards the right elbow. And again. One last time. Just come back to the center, level out your shoulders, and then placing your hands all the way down. Spread your fingers out. We're going to go into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under. Start pushing into your hands and feet just to find your connections. Then lift your knees off the ground. And now move your hips back. Move your hips up. Stay here for a moment with your knees bent, your spine lengthened and your elbows straight, and relax the back of your neck. And then pedal the heels down and away. Just getting that beautiful stretch all the way down the back of the leg. Push both heels down towards the ground. Guys, remember that you don't have to have your legs straight. Stay here just for a moment, breathing in. And then exhale, lower your knees all the way down. Open your knees nice and wide, big toes together. Sit back and come down into your resting position. And the hand position today, bring your hands together in prayer so the palms of your hands are touching. And then bend your elbows and place your hands just behind your head. Just getting that little stretch along the back of the arm. Taking 2 more breaths in and out. And now release your hands forward and then just walk your hands backwards towards your knees so you can roll upright here. I'm going to turn to face you, and I want you to bring your right shin. So I'm doing a mirror image of you, your right shin to the front and your left shin to the side. And then sit up on a block or a bolster if it helps you. Take your hands on your knees, slide your hands up your thigh bones. These thigh bones are called the femur. So slide your hands up to the top of the femur, so you're holding just at the very top of the hip, and start rolling your hips gently in and out. So what's really nice about this position, this is called the mermaid position, or some people might call it a figure of 4, is that we have one hip that's internally rotated and the other hip that's externally rotated. So it's quite a nice way to make sure that we're keeping our hips mobile. And bring yourself into a comfortably seated position and then place your right hand to the ground. Take a big stretch up and over, long stretch, and come all the way up. And we're going to do one more time to the same side. Long stretch over. And this time, let's do a little twist with the shoulders. So now you're going to have both your hands on the floor. Just separate your hands a bit, make sure that they're in line with each other, and then bring your shoulders parallel to your hands. Close your eyes and don't move. Just allow the rest of your body to adjust so that you're in a comfortable position here. So you'll probably feel your neck and head have had to move. You're having to maybe lift up the left hip and the left bum cheek a little bit. And now open your eyes and let's start with a little bit of extension of the spine. So you're going to lift your eye line, lift your heart, and then we're going to do a little bit of a flexion of the spine where you're rounding. So you're going to roll back a little bit probably, and your head's going to tuck in. And then we're going to extend the spine and flex the spine. So keep going with this movement. And I would recommend that you start off quite small and then explore your range. Maybe you want to go a little bit bigger. Maybe you just want to slow down a little bit and breathe in one position. But wherever you are, just observe, where is it easy for you? What is the easy movement? And where do you maybe encounter a little bit of resistance? Where are those tight areas? And then just see if you can connect your breath to your movement and allow it to guide you a little bit deeper. So this is called the mermaid. And we're going to do just one more time. Come back to the center and pause here for a moment. Bring your right hand to the middle of your mat. Pick up your left hand and do one more long stretch over. And then coming all the way up. Now, spin your feet around. So we're going to switch over to the other side. And again, if you need to sit up on a cushion or a bolster, do so. Hands to your knees, and then slide your hands up to the top of your thighs. So you're at the top of the hip joint here. And start just guiding yourself into a little bit of a rolling action at the hip joint. So some people are really mobile around the hips, and you can sit here quite easily and you get quite a free movement. Other people, like myself, are quite tight around the hips, and I've got to move quite slowly and deliberately, because if I don't, I can sometimes take strain around my knees, because my knees tend to compensate because my hips are tight. So just feel it out for yourself. And then come into a seated position and pause for a moment. Now your left hand goes to the mat. Right hand comes up and over. We're going to do a long stretch. And coming all the way up for a moment. Let's do one more time. And long stretch up and over. Now, twist your shoulders, placing your hands to the ground. Just separate your hands a little bit, line them up, and then square your shoulders to your hands and close your eyes. This is your opportunity to just make any adjustments you need to your body position so that it feels good, especially around the lower back. And then opening your eyes, let's start moving into extension, lifting up through the heart. And then rounding your spine and rolling back in towards flexion. And just keep moving at your own rhythm. So I'm offering you guidelines here, but please feel free to slow down or speed up if that's what your body needs. Or you can make the movements a little bit smaller than what I'm doing, or you could even go a little bit bigger. Keep breathing. And I quite like to do this mermaid exercise with my eyes closed as well, because it gives me an opportunity to feel those areas of resistance, feel the areas of tension. Keep breathing. And let's just come back to a centered, easy position. Pause for a moment. Now move your left hand to the middle of your mat. Pick up your right hand and let's do one more long stretch. And then all the way up you come and pause right here. So now we're going to come into a seated position. So I'm just going to swing this way. Come a little bit forward on your mat. Double check that you've got your big toes in line with each other. Separate your knees and feet slightly. And you're going to hold on to your knees today. So this is a little variation. Sitting up nice and tall. Use your arms to pull, to really help you connect to those back muscles. And then round your spine by really curling the tail under. So you're going to get a wonderful connection to the lower abs. And if possible, go back until you have your elbows straight and you literally feel like you're hanging off your knees. So you're holding on. It should be quite a lovely stretch between the shoulder blades and around the neck. Take a breath here and then breathe out as you bend your elbows, pull yourself forward, and then again use your arms to help yourself sit up straight. And again, exhale, curl your tail under. Go back until you feel like you're hanging off your knees. Take a breath here. And then exhale, flatten the abdominals. Use your arms to help you and sit up nice and tall. We're going to do 2 more. Using your breath, rounding your spine. Back you go. Pause here. Take a breath in. And pull. Abdominals connecting. Lifting up tall. And this is the last one. Using your exhale, guide your movement. Getting that curve of the spine, the connection to your abdominals. And then use your arms to assist. Lift up and sit up tall. Now stay here. Stay lifted and take your arms out in front of you. Immediately, you can probably feel your back muscles and those hip flexor muscles working a bit harder. Inhale to lift tall. Breathe out as you curl back. And now we're going to go all the way back using our abdominals. Let your hands go straight up towards the ceiling, the sky, and you stay here. Bring your feet a little closer towards your bottoms or your bottoms closer down, whatever works for you. And we're going to do a little bit of a brain teaser today. So I want you to scissor the arms with the right arm going overhead and the left arm coming forward. And then do one more scissor. So now you've got the left arm going over, right arm down. Now stay here and circle your arms close to the ground so that you switch over to the other side. Now do 2 scissors. So we've got the left arm going back, scissor again, right arm going back, hold it, and now draw circles along the floor so you switch sides. And we go 2 scissors. And again. And we draw a big circle all the way around. And we scissor. And we scissor. circle all the way around. Last two, and scissor. Scissor. Circle. Nice opening for the shoulders, nice warm up, 2 scissors. Good for the brain. And circle all the way around. Bring both hands straight up, interlock the fingers, and placing your hands underneath your head. Now just do that little wiggle of the spine. Elbows are floating. We're going to go into our abdominal work. So guys, remember that you need to stabilize your pelvis. So before we start, get your lower back where it feels good, either a neutral pelvis or a slight tilt if you need to imprint. Inhale, nod the chin. Use your breath out to come up into your chest lift. Stay here for a moment. Take a breath, no pulling on the head, and exhale. Release your rib cage back down. Nod your chin. There's the deep neck flexor muscles working. Exhale. Flattening the abdominals to get the transverse abdominis working. And releasing back down you go. 2 more times. Nod the chin. Exhale. Stay for a moment. And releasing down. 1 more time. Nod your chin. Exhale. Take a breath. And release with control. Stay here for a moment and just let your elbows press back. So your brain should be recognizing your upper abs at this point. Stay here. Connect your core. Bring one knee up to tabletop. Deepen your ab connection. And then see if you can pick up the left leg. So both legs are in the air now. Squeeze the legs together. And this is called open chain. So you no longer have your feet supported by the floor. This is open chain. So it's a little bit of a challenge. Hover the elbows, nod your chin, and once again, we chest lift. Stay for a moment. Are you able to stabilize your pelvis, flatten the abs, and releasing down with control. Nod your chin. Exhale. Slide the ribs forward. Stay for a moment, breathing in. And exhale. Release it down. 2 more times. Use your breath to help you with the movement. Last one. Hold it, take a breath in, and exhale, release down, stay for a moment, and then hug both knees in towards your chest. So now place one hand on top of each knee separately, and start to draw some circles of the knees away from each other. So this is called stirring the clouds. And you can make it big, you can make it small. The point is it's supposed to feel good. Make sure that your lower back likes this movement, otherwise maybe you need to make it quite tiny. And then change direction so you're drawing circles the other way. Nice healthy hips. One more time. And stay there. Bring your knees and feet back up to tabletop, and this time just place your hands over those 2 pelvic bones at the front of your pelvis here. So you're going to monitor that you don't start rocking and rolling. Separate your legs a little bit, and on your breath out, lightly tap the right toes to the ground, and then bring your leg back up again. Now try that with the left leg. Lightly tap the toes, and lift. Keep alternating legs. So remember, we've been practicing this whole principle of hip disassociation. And by the way, you can also do shoulder disassociation, guys. The point is, are you able to move freely from that joint and maintain stability? So in this case, stability around the pelvis and the lumbar spine. So this is a little bit more challenging today because we're coming from this open chain position with the legs lifted. Connect your breath. Make sure that there's no arching or movement around the lumbar spine or the pelvis. That means you've got to really get your transverse abdominis connecting. That's that deep forcep muscle that wraps around your midsection. One more time, each side. Now I want you to put your right foot onto the ground. And then I just want you to let your left knee open so you can cross the ankle over the knee. Keep your hands on your pelvis, head down, and breathe out as you lift up the right leg now. So you're going to draw yourself into a little bit of a gluteal stretch, and then wrap your hands around the right thigh and just settle back for a moment. So this is slightly different from the stretch that we oftentimes do where the thighs are crossed over. So the one where the thighs are crossed over actually stretches the piriformis, which is that deep, deep muscle in the bum. This one, because we've changed the angle of the hip and the leg, it's going to be a little bit more the superficial muscles of the gluteals. You might still feel it in that deep muscle if you're tight there, but it's going to also be a little bit of the big bum muscles. Stay here for just a few more seconds. And now connect your abs so that your legs stay lifted, and place your hands back onto your pelvic bones. And with control, you take that foot down and then uncross the left leg, place it down, and now right ankle crosses over the left knee. Core connection. Breathe out as you lift the left leg up. So now you're getting the stretch on the right bum. Take your hands around the left thigh. Hold on where you're comfortable. Head and shoulders down. So guys, a couple of things here. If you're really tight, you might need to put a support underneath your head so that you're not crunching your head back. Or you could even put that left foot up on the wall so that you've got some support with the wall for yourself. Keep breathing. We just have a few more seconds here. And maybe just use this opportunity to notice how it feels on this right hip in comparison to the left hip. If it's the same intensity or in the same place maybe. So interestingly, on my right side today, I'm quite aware of my inner thigh muscle in the stretch, which is a bit different for me. Keep your legs where they are. So connect your abdominals, put your hands on your pelvic bones, and then place that left foot down, and then placing your right foot down to the ground. Now, hands down beside you, palms down, palms up, whatever works for you. We're going into our pelvic curl. Take a breath. Exhale, tilting your hips. Rolling up into your bridge position. Remember that it's about the gluteals connecting, not your lower back taking over. You want to keep your ribs sliding down towards your pelvis, and then roll down through your spine again. Imprint, and then release at the bottom. Feel free to adjust your leg position as you need. Let's go again. Rolling up into the bridge, getting that lovely lift from the base of the pelvis. Inhale to the top and roll down. And we're going to do just one more time. Take a breath. Exhale, tilt. Coming all the way up now, guys. We're going to stay here for a moment. I want you to keep your right arm connected to the ground and pick up your left hand just above your chest. Turn the palm of your hand so it's facing across. And now open your arm to the side. Don't let it rest. Hover it and bring that hand back up again. So as you open and close your arm, can you notice how you've got to work a little bit harder through the sling patterns of your body? So by moving the left arm out to the side, do you notice that you're having to work the left gluteal a little bit harder to help you keep your balance? One more time, breathing in. Can you feel the abdominals, the obliques connecting? Hold it, and then just bring your left hand back onto the floor. Bring your right hand up. Turn the palm of your hand across. And again, inhale, open. And exhale, lift. And again, inhale, open. And exhale, lift. We're going to do 2 more. Notice how moving the right arm is challenging those sling patterns. 1 more. And lift. Hold it. Take a breath. Bring that hand all the way down and then slowly roll down through your spine. Imprint into the lower back and release. And right here, you're going to bring your knees into your chest again. Maybe you want to wiggle or lengthen out your spine a little bit, rock your knees a little bit from side to side. And we're going to do that same hamstring release that we've been doing over the last few days. So take your hands behind your thighs. We're going to be doing both legs at the same time. So you're going to flex your feet and then breathe out as you stretch up through the heels of your feet until you feel that release, and then soften your knees and back down you come. And again, breathing it out. And release. 2 more. And release 1 more time. Try to keep your pelvis nice and anchored. And release. So we're going into our slow roll-up. Keep your hands where they are. Move your thighs away from your chest. Curl your head and shoulders forward. And as you exhale, pour your body weight in towards your feet. So you're almost pushing your thighs into your hands. Your feet touch. And then you round over and touch your forehead to your knees. Then reverse it. As you start rolling back, you're going to find a connection between your hands and the backs of your thighs. Lighten the load on your feet and then start to pour your body weight back. And then down you go. And bring both knees in towards your chest. And we go again, moving your thighs away. Curl your head forward and breathe. So no jarring movement. This is such a lovely way to transition from lying down to seated for people with lower back issues. Last one, we're going to roll back down with control. Gently shifting body weight. Well done, guys. Looking very nice. And this is going to be the last one so that we come up into a seated position. Placing your feet down, rounding your spine over, and then unravel and come all the way up into sitting. So I just want you to scoot back for a second so that you're on your mat completely with both your legs out. So we're going to do a little bit of a twist of the spine here. You're going to pick up your right foot, cross it over. We did this yesterday. Flex that left foot. And now you're going to place your right hand behind your back to support yourself. You can go fingertips or even put your hand on a cushion if you need. But I want you to create space. Left hand reaches up and we start twisting towards the right. So the lumbar spine thoracic spine, hook your elbow to help yourself, and then your cervical spine. And don't force it. We want to just focus on the breathing, helping us deepen this twist. And you definitely want to make sure that both your sit bones are still rooted to the ground, so you're not rolling off your pelvis in any way. Taking one more breath in and out. And then release and coming all the way back. Take your time as you unfold that right leg. Give your knees a little bit of a shake. And then your left foot steps over. Left hand behind your back. Sit up nice and tall. Remember to flex the right foot. Reach up. And now twisting towards the left. Lumbar spine, thoracic spine, hook the elbow, and then cervical spine. So again, staying here for 5 breaths in and out. So our lumbar spine has the least amount of rotation in it. Our thoracic spine definitely has more, but then we're also kind of limited by the attachments of our ribs. And our cervical spine around the neck has the most rotation in it. So do not force your lower back and do not force your rib cage or thoracic spine. Just allow your breath to carry the movement. And then release, unwind, stretching that left leg out and giving those knees just a little bit of a shake. So separate your feet to the width of your mat. Pull the flesh of your bum out the back. And we're going to start learning an exercise called the spine stretch forward. Now, some of you might have done it with me already. You need to curl the toes back. And if your hamstrings are tight, guys, you bend the knees. And if your lower back is tight, you sit on a cushion. All right, make the adjustments that you need. Put your hands on the outsides of your legs. Your elbows are going to be straight. Sit up nice and tall, breathing in. And on your exhale, nod your chin and imagine that you're rolling your spine 1 vertebra at a time away from the wall behind you. So you will get a flexion in the lumbar spine as well. And then you might even be able to get a little bit of a rolling over the front of the hip, depending on how flexible you are. Stay here for a breath and then reverse it. So your pelvis comes up and then your lumbar spine, and then your thoracic spine, and then your cervical spine and your head. Take a breath in. Exhale, nod your chin, peeling your spine away from the wall, feeling the rounding of your rib cage, feeling how the scapula gliding wide. Stay here for a moment. You still have your abs connected for a little bit of support, by the way. And then breathing out as you come all the way back up. Rolling up through your spine. Sitting up nice and tall. Last one, take a breath in. Exhale, nod your chin and start rolling forward through the spine. Stay here for a moment. Take a breath. And then exhale and let's unravel. Coming all the way up and lifting tall. Good, so that's the start of the exercise. Please come and lie on your left side, cradling the back of your neck. Bend your knees so they're quite high up as if you're sitting in a chair. So the reason we want this is the lower abs can connect then and the lumbar spine can stretch out a little bit. Take your top hand, your right hand, and we're going to go into a thoracic rotation. So start lifting your arm up. Look up at your hand and then open across the chest. And as your hand goes back, you keep looking at it. Feel the stretch on the shoulder, open up across the heart, and if you need to slide your hips and knees, please do so. Do not strain into this. Take a breath in and breathe out as you slide everything forward. Hips, rotate the spine, ribs, shoulder, and arm. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, reaching it back. And notice when you take your arm back, that if you take your hand sort of in line with your head, it's quite a strong stretch. If you bring your hand lower down in line with your hip, it's an easier stretch. And again, lifting arm, rolling all the way back to your start position. And this is the last one. Lifting arm, look up, relax your head as much as possible. So that's why we are using our left hand to cradle the head and the neck for support. Take a breath and exhale. Coming all the way over to the front. And now from here, simply flip onto your stomach. Keep the left hand under the head. Bend the right knee. Right hand either holds the toes, the ankle, the pants. And we're going to do a little bit of a hip flexor and quadricep stretch here. So it's a little bit of a squeeze with your bum cheeks. And level out your pelvis, level out your shoulders, adjust your leg position so that your knee feels good. And then we're just going to stay here for a few moments and breathe. And guys, some people really struggle to get into this position, but if you're really flexible, I know some people are really flexible, you might be able to bend the elbow and then almost lift your thigh up a little bit to intensify the stretch. Just make sure you don't collapse into your back if you're giving yourself that progression. Take a breath in, and then exhale, release, stretching your leg back. Now I'm gonna have my back to you. We're going to do the other side. Roll onto your right side, bending your knees up, cradling the back of your neck, left hand reaches forward, and we go thoracic rotation. Lifting your arm, opening up across the chest as you reach back, and give yourself permission to move your hips and knees if you need. Breathe in, and then slowly make your way all the way back to side lying. And we go again. Inhale. And exhale. Play with the position of your arm here to increase or decrease the stretch. And rolling yourself back to the front. One more time. Breathe in. And breathing out. Good. And again, turn to lie on your stomach. So now you're going to have your right hand underneath your head, bending the left knee, grabbing onto your ankle or foot, adjust your leg position, and then it's that little squeeze with the bum cheeks. Just getting that opening along the front of the hip. Make sure that you can breathe. Just a few seconds here. And then releasing all the way back. And now we're ready to go into our back extension. So place your hands down, get your elbows down, give yourself space. Have your legs slightly separated. Hover the tip of your nose, and remember that we want to send the breastbone away from the heels of the feet. When you're ready, let's come up into a baby cobra. So lifting your gaze, lifting up through the chest, so you're sending the breastbone forward. Stay here for a moment. Squeeze your bum cheeks, squeeze your legs straight, and then see if you can hover your legs off the ground. And then keep the abs connected. Send the breastbone forward. Check it out and see if you're able to hover your arms off the ground. Take a little breath in, and then everything comes down at the same time. And we go again. Lifting up into a baby cobra. Create space. Lifting your legs. Make sure that the knees don't bend. Hover your arms. Feel that little squeeze of the shoulder blades behind you. And then releasing everything down. And we're going to go again. Lifting up. Send your heart forward. Lifting your legs. Lifting your arms. Now here's the challenge today, guys. Let's start to kick the legs as if you're in the swimming pool and you're going to swim from one end to the other. And the trick is not to bend the knees. So the power has to come from the bum cheeks, the gluteus maximus. If you want to, you can even put your hands on those muscles and make sure that they're working. Squeezing the thigh muscles. And by the way, I highly recommend breathing, however it feels good for you. And you're going to stop kicking, take a little breath in, and then releasing everything down. Well done. So let's stretch out the back muscles. And you're going to come up into a 4-point kneeling position here. Get your wrists nice and comfortable. Get that feeling of lengthening out through your tail. And we're just going to round the spine into a cat. So that already should feel like quite a lovely release. And now move your hips back a little bit towards your feet. Stay here. And then let's do 5 gentle trampolining movements. Just so that we start to feel that lower back, the fascia. Maybe you're going to feel the latissimus dorsi around the back and the shoulders. 2 more. 1 more. And come all the way forward. And then lengthen your spine back to neutral. Now, we're going to go into a downward facing dog again, just like when we started. So tuck your toes under. Start pushing into your hands and feet. Find your connections and then hover the knees. Then start moving your hips up and back. And start pedaling the heels down. Really press away from your hands. And then send both heels towards the mat. Take 1 breath in and out. And then soften your knees and walk your feet halfway forward up on the mat. Get your feet level. And then walk your hands backwards to your toes. You can go onto your fingertips if you need. But as soon as you have your feet flat on the ground, you can relax the back of your body, relax the weight of your head, and then just dangle there. Give your head a little shake. No, 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 no. Nod your head. Yes, 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 yes. And then take a nice wide inhale. And exhale to start rolling back up. Abdominal muscles are working to support you. Rooting into your feet. You are connecting to the back line of your body and coming all the way upright. Rolling your shoulders back and around. Letting your arms settle. Bending your knees a few times. Finding the connections into your ankles. Feeling your feet on the ground. And then allow your knees to straighten. And stay as you are and allow your eyes to close. So, bringing your awareness once again to your breath. Feeling the connections of your feet to the ground and your head lifting upwards, allowing your body to simply suspend. Okay, enjoy. And then take a moment to notice how you feel. How is your energy now after moving for the last hour? And if you could describe your energy in one word, what would it be? Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh. Let it go. Blinking your eyes open. Give your hands and fingers a little bit of a shake. Give your feet and your ankles a little bit of a shake. Beautiful job, you guys. Let me come and have a little bit of a chat with you. See how everyone feels.